Now I will talk about how to reserve IP address on the home router, or sometimes they call it home gateway. So basically, every device in the Wi-Fi network in your house communicate with each other using IP address. Each device is assigned an IP address by the router when it power on. So in most houses, people use a dynamic IP address, so-called DHCP. So when you turn on your device, the router assign a IP address temporary. When you turn it off, and turn on the other device, the IP address may be assigned to some other devices. But typically, they will reserve your IP address just in case you will turn them on in a short time. Sometimes they reserve it for 2 hours. Some devices reserve for some router reserved for 2 days, and this is typically configurable in the router. So if you have turned on your controller for a long time and turn it on, and then it might be assigned to a new IP address, and this is something we don't want to happen. So anyway, let's get started. Log into the router administration website. Typically, the router now use a web page to manage it, and the address for the router is typically either 192.168.1.1 or 192.168.1.254. But for the Comcast Xfinity router, the typically is 10.0.0.1. So you can Google the brand you use, Google the router brand you use, and find out the default IP address. Of course, you can change the IP address once you log in. Okay, you need to use the username and password to log in. You get this information from the vendor of your router, and if you haven't changed it, it's the default router, the default username and password, and typically you can Google the brand and find out that. So now I have my own password, and now I log in, so I can view the connected devices. As we have seen just now on the app, the IP address for the controller is 10.0.0.23, and the host name of the controller is start with ESP. So we can see that this is the controller's IP address. Now it's a dynamic IP address, DHCP. Let's edit it. Let's change it from DHCP to reserve IP address. See, this is the IP address we want to reserve. So that every time it turn on, it use the same IP address. I will click save, and now it's done. Now we can see the IP address for the controller is reserved.